Nope, nope, nope. All right, back online. See what happens. This is just a test now. I think the video is pretty much over, but that was really strange what was going on. That's never happened before. Welcome back. Now let's see how long it takes for the trolls to show up. That was really interesting. So as soon as I would ban one, it would just, a different profile would start doing the same thing, which was really fascinating. So I don't know what was going on. That's never happened before. So I don't know what to think about that. It was a raid by who and for what reason? It was the Taliban. Do, 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 do. Thanks. I grew it myself. Politically motivated bots related to the title. So I think it had to have been bots. They were too quick, and whenever I deleted one, another one would just pop up doing the same thing. So we're voting for bot now. Well, hopefully this is now the new normal, and we can pick between two people who both agree on this. Oh, Soviet collapse. That's a good point. Sorry you were interrupted by whatever was going on there. So it definitely contributed. I don't know that it was the main thing. We all know that the Soviet economy had lots of problems just because of the calculation problem and the incentive problem, and like, all right, let's take care of it then. All right. So it is a contributing factor, but you know, the Soviet system was rotten to its core and it was degrading on its own, and I think that it just accelerated that. Right? I don't think that it would have been okay if it hadn't happened. It still would have collapsed. It maybe just would have collapsed a few years later. That's it. Do, 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 do. Okay, I banned Roach too. How do you pronounce your name and your channel? How do you pronounce the name on your channel, and what does it mean? Length Unothor. Length Unothor. You got to roll the R at the end. Length Unothor. Do you recommend a good Robert E. Lee biography? I've never read a Robert E. Lee biography. I'm sure there's a lot. I'm sure most of them aren't very good, but maybe there's some great ones. But I haven't read any, so I can't recommend any. I'm sorry. Um, you know, I have this uneasy feeling like Biden did the right thing here, but this doesn't mean Biden's going to do the right thing, and it wouldn't surprise me if he, um, you know, one step forward, two steps back type of thing, where because he did this, now he can, you know, invade Somalia or Ethiopia or step up pressure against Iran or do something. You know, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but like I'm just, my fear is that that's what this will turn into. Good thing on the hair, so you have to be shaved to be killed. Don't tell everyone my secrets. It's just an experiment. I have never had it this long, and I'm just curious what it's like. It's really actually quite annoying, but you know, You can go back and see what I looked like when it was short. Think about this. This channel is 10 years old, which means I started this channel 10 years after the Afghanistan war started. You know, it's just ridiculous. 10, 20 years. Insane. 5 times longer than the Civil War. All right, guys. Well, I think this was a bit of a test just to see what was going on with the those bot accounts. If anyone has any idea what that could be, I mean, you guys saw the chat, saw what was going on. That was very weird. That's never happened before. I'm guessing that I wasn't specifically targeted, and that was some kind of something else going on. I'm not sure. Super annoying. Maybe it was just some kind of automated system. I don't know. Or maybe I said the wrong word. Who knows? But that was no way that was a person. It was posting too much. Are you still restoring your foreskin? What is the progress? Yes, I am still restoring my foreskin, and the progress is good. The more you have, the more you can grow, and it gets more and more, and it's now comfortably in the spot where it looks like it's uncut to most people. I'm not done. I have partial coverage pretty much all the time. I can make it full coverage if I want, but it doesn't stay that way, which is the level I want to get to. Now I'm repeatedly having awkward encounters with uncircumcised guys who think that I'm uncircumcised. In fact, last week, we didn't actually meet, but I was talking to a guy, and he sent me pics, and he was uncircumcised. I sent him pics, and he's like, "Oh, thank God." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I hate cut guys." So mixed emotions for sure. But yeah, I'm still doing it. But I'm making progress. It's doing better and better. Has anything bad happened in real life because you have a channel over the 10 years? Do you worry about being canceled? Nothing bad has happened in real life at all. The only thing it does in real life is occasionally I'll meet people who are fans. Not a lot. I'm not a big enough channel that I have lots and lots of fans. But at PorkFest, somebody that's really pretty much only at PorkFest or at like Students for Liberty conference, sometimes people will come up to me, and it's not a lot, but sometimes. And I've made friends that way. When I've traveled, I've had people offer me dinner, take me out, stuff like that. So it's never been a problem. Sometimes my politics have been a problem in real life, but it's rare even then, and that's not directly tied to the channel. So I think they were smearing your channel to flag your channel. Who was and why do you think that, Jordan? I'm open. I don't know what was going on. Is that like a thing that happens? It's like bot attacks on Facebook, a normal thing? Let's see. Spam chat attacks on YouTube. Spam chatbots in live stream ban porn videos and accounts. I'm a moderator on a 24/7 live stream, average about 1,000 plus viewers. It's a blah, blah, blah. The bots typically have lewd avatars and illegal content on their channels. We are now blocking hundreds of bots per hour and thousands per day. Something needs to be done about this issue YouTube-wise. This is a big issue for our channel, and those spam accounts are clearly a violation of user agreement. To fix this issue, limit the amount of messages, set from one account in different live chats. You already have, well, okay. Terminate not only the chat bot accounts, but also the videos and accounts promoted, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Might have to do that, guys, if it happens again. Mm, if I'm able to do that, which I'm not sure. Still a fan of storing wealth in precious metals. Absolutely. You had lots of videos, I remember. Now I can't find your channel. Never mind, I found it. Okay, that's good. Um, I'm not sure who or why. It's just what I'm thinking. Sounds, based on the thing that I read, it just sounds like it's bots trying to spread porn. So maybe not like politically motivated. I restarted my channel because I was worried about being canceled due to the height of cancellations. I've remade it now. I think Parisia, I'm defended from that by being very small, right? I'm very, very small. The channel, it's this weird, I've talked about this before. It's this weird ground where it's not like nobody's watching. It's not like I'm talking to myself and the view, I don't get any views. I get some, hundreds or thousands on some videos, and some videos continue to get thousands of views, month after month, year after year. But that's unusual. Nothing I've ever done has become viral, or even close to that. So I'm not well known. I've been on for 10 years, but it's just never really, and that's probably my fault as much as anybody else's, or more than anyone else's, to be fair. So no one knows who I am. I'm not on Twitter, right? There are Twitter accounts that have posted my stuff, but I've never posted anything there. I don't have a Twitter account. I'm not anywhere else. I'm not a big name. There are libertarians who know who I am, but none of the big name libertarians know who I am, really. And none of them ever talk about my stuff or post my stuff. So I'm very, very, very much below the radar as far as I can tell. I have had videos removed. I had a video removed where I said that Holocaust denial should not be a crime. I posted that video a very long time ago, maybe 8 years ago now. And I recently, I have to look again, but it does look like a video I made on the culture of critique was also removed. I can't find it now. Somebody came asking about it, and I looked and could not find it. But I do not think that is a targeted attack. In all likelihood, that's just getting flagged or something. I've never had a strike. Like the people who post, there's definitely people who post who don't agree with me, but they're more likely to be alt-right people, and alt-right people are not going to do anything. Then they're going to be like left people. There's not very many left people, and the ones who are, they're not running and showing my videos and saying, oh my God, look what this guy said. If you went back and looked through my videos, I've said some very controversial things, and they're things that mostly that I still believe and would defend, but that would just be anathema in so many ways, although not necessarily to the left. So it's not the end. This isn't the end. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of an even bigger war. I believe there will be a war in Afghanistan that will continue. I don't think it will be bigger. So no, it's just I don't make the videos that are popular, right? They're too long. They're not edited at all or nearly enough. They're not snappy. They're not it's just not what I do. I've known that's been an issue in terms of views forever. Like, I've been told that so many times. I know that's the case, but that's just not what I want to do. So say you want to, yeah. Say what you want against democracy, but as soon as you start talking about the Jews, your videos get taken down. Some of the videos I've made about Jews have been taken down. Not all. I personally like your channel and similar because not having like-minded friends, they make me not feel alone. Oh, well, that's touching. I feel like my channel is a relic because in 2008, this was like the thing. You had vlogs and people would talk about politics and all that. And then, uh, 2008, of course, still, during the Afghanistan war. But then, first of all, a lot of those content creators got bored because they would just do the Who Will Build the Roads episodes a million times. So a few of them did get big, especially somebody like Stefan Molyneux would be probably the standout example there. But this kind of format, just people don't dig it. It doesn't get the views. Maybe it's the algorithm, right? Maybe it's the monetization. I tried monetization. I never got paid anything. Like, I did it for a few months and then it got taken down. I don't know why. I haven't worked hard. I thought that by doing that, maybe it would up the number of views. I don't think it did a thing. Oh, why do people retract their messages? I want to read the ones that are retracted. I want to make my channel and blog big, but they eventually would end in cancellation, I think. Just saving enough money to handle being fired. Nick Cannon. Yeah, I remember that. You're the thinker Molyneux always wanted to be, but sadly his snake oil gets the views until the band, that is. I'll take that as a compliment, but I kind of doubt it. I'm sure Stefan has seen some of my videos because I've made videos about him, and I think that he will have seen them. And some of those videos did get more play. Some of my videos about Molyneux were posted on FDR Liberated, the the anti-Molyneux blog, and he probably has seen me for that, but he's never contacted me or talked to me directly. I've met him briefly in person at PorcFest once or twice, but I don't think if he watched more than those, maybe he did, maybe he didn't, probably not. But if he did, I don't think he would find it compelling or anything. I think that he craves. I really do think he craves recognition. And I would be lying if I said I didn't want any. There wouldn't be nice. It would, but like I don't have a burning need for it the way he does. I don't think. So I don't think I'm what he. Well, the one thing that I have that Molyneux definitely wants is hair. He's bald, and I'm definitely not bald. So he probably would like that about me. But beyond that, I don't think he would really care. Um, so there it is. And I am not a philosopher king. I am not the smartest, greatest philosopher who ever lived. I don't pretend to be. That would certainly be nice. I think I'm pretty smart and I'm well read, but I'm nothing like that. I know I'm not that. I'm not pretending to be that. And that's what he wants to be. He wants to be that. So he definitely does not want to aspire to be me. I would be beneath his aspirations in every sense, except for my hair. I watch your channel for a very long term. When I first get into libertarianism, I watched you and Stefan Molyneux. I think you're the best that I know of. Yeah, a lot of libertarians just take the NAP to every situation, same talking points, same everything. Yeah, look, a lot of libertarians have Asperger's. um, there's something about the non-aggression principle that is very powerful, and part of the reason it's powerful is that it's simple, and it is actually a metric that you can use in every situation. Now, that doesn't mean it's always true, and I don't think that it's a law that's always correct, but it is something you can use. It's a way of ordering the world that is very effective, and you can use it in every situation. It doesn't work very well in every situation, but it works in a lot of them. And you get people, and I'm glad this happens, but that comes with problems, who don't know anything about economics or history or politics, and they're not deeply into libertarianism or sociology or anything, and they encounter the NAP, very likely from Stefan Molyneux, at least in the old days, obviously not now. or not so much now. And one of the things, not only is it simple and powerful, it gives you what sounds like an incredible insight. And it is, I mean, it is, I think, in a lot of ways. This is very similar, though, to like a religion. I remember Sam Harris talking about the people who believe in Islam, although this could also hold true to Christians or Jews. You can read these books, these texts, and if you and you can find them compelling, right? There's stuff in them that people do. Even Sam Harris will find stuff compelling in some of them. And if you do, and you really immerse yourself in them, and you believe that this is the word of God in some sense, then what you can think is, I have access to greater wisdom than Fermi and Einstein and Kant and Rawls and every philosopher and every physicist and every astronomer and every mathematician and every intellectual who ever existed. Their entire corpus of knowledge is not as valuable as the Quran, let's say, or the Bible. And if you then become an acolyte of that thing, then you can feel like, I'm in a way, even though my IQ might not be that high and I'm personally not that smart, through this mechanism of this text, I am actually the greatest genius who ever lived. And I think that the NAP can do that for some people. They can suddenly feel like they know the answer to every question. They feel like, if I know the NAP, I can get into a debate with anybody about anything, and I will know the answer. And I'll say like the NAP is a very good thing. It's a very good principle to invoke, and it gets you to a lot of really good places pretty easily. And it is a very crystal clear way to look at the world, but it's not perfect, and it doesn't make you a genius. Okay, so like there are problems with it, and for all the wonder it is. Like I feel like that would put somebody in a position that relative to an average person, I would definitely agree with them a whole lot more, but it doesn't make them a genius who knows right about everything. And that is what some people feel when they first encounter it. And so you get those libertarians who are like that and really latch onto it, and they have a hard time. You need to have learned a lot to get a lot of nuance, right? When you're just exposed to an idea and you haven't been exposed to a lot of other ideas, it's very easy to just think, oh wow, that's it, that's the truth, and whether it's a religion or a political philosophy. And there was a lot of growth in libertarianism, and through Ron Paul and through the 2008 crisis and through Stefan Molyneux and others, and you got a lot of people who hadn't done enough reading to really get it, I don't think. And that changed. Like in 2008, if this was 2006, almost every commenter and everyone on the channel would be very, 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 very well read. They didn't become a libertarian because they saw an 8-minute video, however good. I mean, Molyneux has made some excellent videos over the years, but that's not the same as having a library and having read it and debated it and debated it and debated it and debated it for years and years and years and years with people who don't agree on every level. So I just came here to see a handsome man. Where'd you see him at? What do you think will realistically happen with these vax mandates? Will they shift their focus from overseas to within our borders? I think there's people who definitely want to try, and I think it's definitely going to be a fight. And it's going to be a hard fight because a lot of people on the right are going to disagree, and a lot of minorities on the left are going to disagree. And it's going to be a fight. I think it's going to be a fight between the progressives and everybody else. And the progressives without the hard left are, and a more or less unified right are going to have a hard fight. What are you saying? What you are saying also applies to utilitarianism for sure. Some people like it, like one sentence moral theories. Yeah, they have an appeal. Like that's just so much easier, right? Why spend a lot of time debating and blah blah blah. When he's like, well, here's the answer right there. That's all you need to know. Gun in the room, right? That's it. You only have to know the gun. And look, I've ragged on Molyneux a lot. Uh, I think he is brilliant in his way. Like, he's not as a original theorist, right? Not for coming up with new ideas, but for expressing ideas that he's learned other places, and that's not a knock. That's really good, and the ability for him to make videos that resonate with people in such a way, that's tremendous. That's a great skill, and he certainly should never have been banned and canceled and all that stuff. Like, that's ridiculous. But I think it's very obvious that he was just hungry for acclaim and for fame and for status, and he got more famous with all the right-wing stuff. I mean, really going back to like 2013, maybe even earlier, 2013, 2014. And yeah. Are you familiar with Slate Star Codex? No. Libertarians are good on foreign policy, really bad on social issues. I think libertarianism is all over the place on social issues. They're good on some, bad on others. Some libertarians spend a lot of time on it, some don't. Some think it's completely outside the libertarian purview, and others don't. So I wouldn't say your statement is categorically true. It's just it's not like a big area for them, for all anyway. So Michael Humer fully convinced me that the NAP is too stringent and that there are other moral principles worth considering. Thanks for recommending the books. Yeah, you can make, you draw the hypothetical, right, where somebody's placed in a position where they violate the non-aggression principle, but in a very minor way, right? Like a very minor way. You're not talking about killing somebody or raping them. You're talking about breaking into an abandoned home or pushing somebody or something like that. And the consequences, if you don't, are dire. You'll die, or they'll die, or the whole world will die, right? I mean, that the absurd example would be like, you have to punch this person in the face, and if you don't, everyone in the world will die a horrible death. Okay, well, the non-aggression principle says that you shouldn't do it then. Okay, so like, it's not that simple. Humor at Porkfest, whenever I saw him years ago, used the example of breaking into, you're hiking in the woods, and you've fallen into trouble. You run out of food, you run out of water, and you're starting to starve. You're malnourished, and you come across a cabin in the woods, and it's marked no trespassing, and it's locked. But you break in because there's food, and NAP says that's wrong. But your ethical intuition is maybe it's not. What do you think about George Takei's statement that unvaccinated people should not get priority health care? I don't agree with it, but I don't think healthcare is a right. So like, no one should get priority healthcare. So Mises Caucus types are split culturally from other mainstream Beltway libertarians. Since everything is culture war now, they feel like enemies. Yeah, there definitely does seem like a split has. I mean, there always were splits in the libertarian group, and you've got the Mises Cato reason split that goes back to whenever Cato was formed, like the 80s. The Ed Crane Koch brothers anti-Rothbard split, right? That's been going on for a long time. And there's philosophical ones too that kind of run parallel to that. But it seems to have gotten more extreme, and you've got like the Beltway people, and the Beltway people is a real thing. Like, you go to the Beltway and you meet them, and I've got friends who are Beltway libertarians and friends who live in the Beltway but who are not Beltway libertarians, and like, it's very true. And I was shocked the last times I went to DC meeting other libertarians, and the way they felt about certain issues was just astonishing to me. Where their priorities lied were completely different than where mine were. And a lot of them had tremendous deference. I mean, the worst are the ones who are like, January 6th is the worst thing that ever happened. Like, if you're a libertarian, are you really upset that the Capitol got stormed? Like, whatever you want to say about what happened there, that really upsets you that the Capitol got stormed? Like, isn't the libertarian impulse that the Capitol deserves much, much, much worse than what happened, if justice is to mean anything? Breaking into someone's house is trespassing, right? Is aggression. You're breaking into someone's house. Like, if you're Bitcoin motorist, if you're sitting in your house right now and you hear your door get smashed in, that's aggression, right? That is aggression against your property. It's aggression, right? If you're sitting at home and you hear the windows shatter on your car, and you see somebody going into your car, you're not going to say that's not a rights violation. It's not aggression. Yes, it is. Yeah, explain how the flagpole example. Yeah, I'm open borders. Yeah, I'm basically open borders too, but I think that people can disagree on that. And the idea that Dave Smith is not a libertarian because he's not is stupid. And it's just really weird. I mean, the whole Mises Caucus thing really showed a lot of this too. And I haven't talked too much about this, but I do know Joe Bishop Henchman. I mean, he is gay, and there's only so many gay libertarians, and I know him, and I know his husband, and I know a lot of his friends, and I know a lot of his circle of people, and they the things that they were saying were so delusional. His husband in particular was saying that the people in the Mises Caucus want to kill all black people. And when I asked him to give any evidence to that effect, I mean, I didn't just come out and say, that's obviously stupid and wrong. I said, okay, where did they say anything that in any way implies or mandates that? And he just ignored it. And I don't understand. Like, it's just like people are calling them now woke libertarians. They just hate that idea, and they don't hate the state. They're like, oh, the state's being mismanaged a little bit. Well, yeah, that is true. That is a tremendous understatement of what's happening. Bitcoin Motors, you're almost certainly right about that. It's not the best place to have a debate. So, next Pork Fest, we can have that discussion. But yeah, I don't. My name is Eric July, and I support the Mises Caucus. Well, he's a self-hating. He wants to be lynched and put to death by the Mises Caucus, who are all Nazis, right, and neo-Nazis. And it's funny too. This is lost me. They were accusing them, because some of them had talked about they've thrown about the idea. What are we going to do? Are we going to run a candidate if if the Republican Speaker of the House runs for governor? Are they going to run a candidate against him? So I know who that is. The Republican Speaker of the House in New Hampshire is a guy named Jason Sorens. No, wait. Jason Sakel? I forget. He goes to my gym. I've been seeing him Parkhurst for years. He's a Rothbardian anarcho-capitalist who just happens to be a Republican and happens to be the Speaker of the House in New Hampshire. Okay, so he is not like Marco Rubio or John McCain. And yet then these Beltway libertarians were like, oh no, you're supporting a Republican. But didn't they support Gary Johnson and Bill Weld, who said vote for Hillary Clinton? So completely selective, you know. Uh, by the way, Ben Shapiro isn't just saying the U.S. shouldn't leave Afghanistan. He's saying the U.S. shouldn't have left Vietnam. That is insane. I've never heard him say something so stupid. But I believe you. It's just hilarious to me that it's called a nap, like the verb to take a nap. My impression is that libertarianism is basically dead. I think that's wrong. Just because there's been distinctions and fracturing doesn't mean it's dead. The other thing is they're not gonna, and Dave Smith has pointed this out so many times. You can be as woke as you want. You can be the wokest woke snowflake ever. The left is never going to support a libertarian ever. They're just not. Like they hate you. They hate even if you're the most beltway moderate libertarian who's talking about a 5% decrease in taxes and some marginal reforms to regulation. They hate you for that. They absolutely hate you for that. And you going, Black Lives Matter, blah blah blah, doesn't do anything. I went to a libertarian clubhouse room and I was like, I don't belong here. That didn't happen to be the Quill, did it? Immigrants from Vietnam tend to be all right. All right, guys, it is getting late. I mostly just did the second stream to see what the hell was going on with those bots, but let's just say I think that this was amazing. I've never agreed with the president so much as I did with Biden today, even though he said a lot of stuff that was wrong. Um, do you think it would be hard, easy to make a reading discussion group with FSP people thinking? No, I don't think that would be hard at all. There are reading groups in the FSP already. There was a group in Portsmouth that was reading Human Action, week by week. Clubhouse is an audio social media app. Oh well, you're much more savvy than I am. I'll freely admit. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you all for watching, and we'll see what happens. But have a good night.